Hey, now good morning. We're live here at the Los Angeles Police Commission. Can you hand me that? Trying to write my speech. I never speak, so it better be good, right?
Yeah. They might have to listen. They can't hear I just texted Melina because she said she was going to be here at 9:30. This is really from last week. You got it? From last week. This is from
I think hummus for a moment.
But we still need to keep trying to Did you get No. It's summarizing that we still got to speak on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to fill out a so for example
So I just want to speak on it.
so are the items the one or the
You want to speak on you want to speak on commission comments with two, three. What's please?
so for me, I believe can I click on item one?
What? I mean, you can, but they usually just... Yeah. So the best thing, if you're off topic, the best thing is
Speak on the chief's comment and the commissioner's comment.
Before him or after him?
what?
After.
Yeah,
But
But if you're directing your whatever you're saying to that person, then you're on topic, right? Yeah. So
like a lot of these are money things, sometimes they just approve it without discussion.
Yeah.
She said, can you ask someone to call me?
I'm going to be here.
She's going to go over there to get him out. To bail him out.
Jojo.
But maybe not.
Yeah, Ham's on the way. I called him.
Okay.
I called him, let him know.
That's all I try to do.
That's a whole lot of money.
what? Oh, I'm live streaming right now, so after, like, give me the info after. Or could you? Oh, they're finally here. I'm gonna talk shit about them. Oh yeah. I googled Keith Bursley. I googled Keith Bursley under the news tab. I googled officer involved shooting. I found one article.
Did you see all these money that were approved today? We just start voting on Charlie.
So she's going to try to I'll work on it. We may have to go have a tail vigil wherever we go.
Probably around the corner. He's probably around the corner.
I mean, up here.
Metro.
But you know what? It takes them a little while to get them up here. Like,
Yeah, they're gonna take these centuries. They're gonna hold it there for a while.
it's like 4 or 5 hours. I've been locked up Which one? The Pelican Bay Port
How come NYPD is like an hour and you're out? NYPD? Really? You can get out. They just like book you real fast and like there you go. Like, but
We got enough.
I'm at
This morning they just arrested Pete White. Yeah. He was there. And the same guy, the same killer cop, or he was a Kill Africa, was a part of the program.
Morning, today is Tuesday, June.
why is he banging on that thing? That's rude.
Sorry I'm late. Good morning. Today is still Tuesday, June 14, 2016. This is a regular meeting of the Los Angeles Board of Commissioners. Please, Commissioners, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Good morning. Let the record reflect Commissioners Johnson, Sobroff, Figueroa Villas, Saltzman, and Kim are present, and we have a quorum. Number 1 on the agenda, consent agenda items.
Before we go to the agenda, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the senseless tragedy that took place in Orlando this past week. Our hearts go out to all the victims and their families and their friends, and really to our entire world that was impacted by this tragedy, this senseless tragedy. Could have happened anywhere, at any time, to anyone. As Americans, it's important that we stay true to our core values of tolerance and discourage hate of any kind. With that, I'd like to take a moment of silence before we begin our meeting. Thank you. Madam Secretary, you want to go to our first item?
Number 1 on the agenda, consent agenda items. We have comment cards on G and H.
Okay, do I have a move? Would any of my fellow commissioners like to pull any of the other items? Okay, then can I have do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's call the comment on item 1G, please.
We have Francis Jenkins and the red sheet.
Wait, did they approve it before the comment?
Yeah. I think they waited to approve those comments.
Board, 1G, Prentice Jenkins, published the City Life newsletter, active since 1991. I want to speak a little bit about Gunner the horse. How old is Gunner? And, well, Gunner, that's a great name for a horse. Well, Gunner,
Sick.
will you allow children, can children pet Gunner? Will he be used for riot control? And you're purchasing Gunner for $8,500. All right? Horses cost that much? I didn't know horses. I thought you could get like a horse for like maybe $1,000 or $2,000. You're spending $8,500 on a horse named Gunner. And can anyone tell me how old Gunner is? President Johnson, can you tell me how old Gunner is?
I do not know offhand.
Chief, do you know?
I don't know how old Gunner is, but typically the horses we buy are between 3 and 5 years of age. Horses live to 20, 25 years of age. They often have service lives of over 10 years. $8,500 is not expensive for a horse. It's a high end of the average price.
Okay. All right. Okay, great. That answered that. Anyway, I suggest we get more horses. That'll probably calm people down. Unless you teach them how to shoot. And we're all in trouble. All right? So, Gunner is $8,500 is good for Gunner. Okay, I'll go for that. And as long as Gunner is treated right, I'm putting myself as an animal activist.
Do I have a motion to approve this item?
We have one more speaker, sir.
Huh? Today was the first day? No.
The red chief. Gunner's going to the metropolitan area. What contribution does he have to make to the metropolitan area? Is he there for looks? Is he there for show? Is he there to have horseback just on rides? Why is he there? Can anybody answer that question? He's just there for show?
I'm sorry, why is who there?
Gunner, the horse.
He's part of our mounted platoon. We have around 40 horses that the department keeps in Griffith Park, all assigned to Metropolitan Division. They work all over the city. Gunner will become one of that cadre.
So he's like one of the horses that be riding at Venice Beach, be shitting all over the place, and got to clean it up, and horseback riding, things like that. So who riding, a sergeant or corporal, or who's riding this horse, and why is he so important that we bring him to the fleet? Why do you understand? Well, Matt, go ahead and prove Gunner. It's like anything else, nobody knows anything else.
We have another comment.
Do I have a motion to approve this item? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
We have one comment card for 1H. We have Francis Jenkins.
Francis Jenkins, published the City Life newsletter, activist since 1991. Let's talk about Dusty the horse. Dusty the horse. I had to comment on it because I love horses. Only ridden them 2 times, but I could get me some horses. Now, Dusty, can agree with $5,000 and $8,000 for horses. Hopefully, you're training the horses to calm people down and not to attack people. Horses weigh like 1,200 pounds.
Horses are scary.
And they got those hooves, that metal on the bottom of it. They can really take somebody out. So hopefully, we're training these horses not for combat, but for actual, not just crowd control, but to calm the crowd down. And
Don't they agitate the crowd?
You calm the cops down, the crowd will calm down. Cops get agitated, the crowd gets agitated, then you end up in a melee.
Animals off the horses.
There you go. So hopefully we're teaching Dusty. Well, that's a great name for a horse. Dusty the horse. Right?
Keep the animals off the horses.
How much is it going to cost to board Dusty each year? And how much is it going to cost? Who's going to clean up Dusty's crap when he takes some crap? Do we all just step in? We keep stepping in? Is that how it works? I'm all for mounted police, right? They seem to get calmer when they're on horses as opposed to walking around. People jittery when they walk around. put them on horses. Horses calm down everybody. So I'm in favor of the purchase of these 2 horses. And the price seems right, as the chief said, right? But remember, treat Dusty and treat Gunner right.
Motion to approve this item. All in favor?
We're now on item number 2, commission comments.
Do any of my fellow commissioners have any comments this morning?
I do have one. President, on Sunday, Commissioner Johnson and I had the opportunity to participate along with the department in the Gay Pride celebration and parade. It takes place in West Hollywood, but is a Los Angeles-wide celebration. It was obviously a day of some mixed emotions. But I would like to thank Chief Best, Chief Kamala, others who really put a tremendous amount of work into both having officers and civilians in the department participate and to support the department's efforts with the LGBT community. But also, because of the concerns that day, it was clear there was a significant department response with respect to security of the event and the tremendous cooperation we always see at that event between the LAPD and the other agencies involved. So I just want to thank everyone involved, all the folks from the department who participated, whether they were there as part of the celebration, they were there working for their tremendous work, as they always do. Thank you.
I would just like to second that. It was a great day. It was a great parade. The crowd was very appreciative, and we had a great contingent of LAPD officers out, and it was very clear that the community very much appreciates the work that this department does. Any other comments this morning?
We have 9 comment cards, sir.
Please call those comments.
We have Prentice Jenkins, Patty Beers, Richie Hunt, Hamid Khan.
Prentice Jenkins, published the City Life newsletter, active since 1991. I thought I'd read the Brown Act here today. Brown 54950 says, in enacting this chapter, the legislation finds and declares that the public commissions, boards, and councils and the other public agencies in the state exist to aid in the conduct of the people's business. We are the people. It is the intent of the law. Now remember, this is the law, folks. This is the law that you all swore to uphold. That their actions be taken openly and that their deliberations be conducted openly. The people of this state do not yield their sovereignty to the agencies which serve them. The people in delegating authority do not give their public servants the right to decide what is good for the people to know and what is not good for them to know. The people insist on remaining informed so that they may retain control over the instruments that they have created. Which means, you clear this room, right? And you refuse to let people back in. I heard folks talking. Yes, it was videotaped. I heard you talking. Not letting anyone back in because there's a melee out in the lobby. What you have done is you have decided that you will not allow the people to know what's good for them and what's not good for them. You refuse to allow the people to remain informed. When you continue to run this meeting without the public in it after you cleared the room. That's what you've done. You violated the Brown Act 54950. You decided no one's going to know. What it becomes now, it becomes a secret meeting. And that's what Ralph M. Brown tried to stop, secret meetings. He went to those secret meetings and found out that you were having secret meetings.
Patty Beers.
George Orwell said that journalism is printing what someone doesn't want printed, and the rest is propaganda. I noticed something that wasn't printed. but it came to my personal attention, and it became personal for me. And I have some personal questions for you, Chief Beck. I want to know why my name is in an LAPD email. You don't know what's going on in your police department?
Not to that level.
Do you know the name Keith Bursey? Because these people clearly don't know the name Keith Bursey, because I Googled it, and it didn't come up. But I did Google officer-involved shooting, and there was like one article on June 10th that's about a centimeter long. So there's this email that got leaked out of LAPD that Jasmine Canick, you know Jasmine, y'all go way back. Jasmine Canick, she's a journalist, because she prints what y'all don't want printed. She was given this leaked email, and it said that there's a video of the murder, or after the murder that happened on June 10th of Keith Bursey. And in this email, it says that there's this video, and it says that Jasmine Canick tweeted out the link to the video that was posted on Facebook. And then it said that 8 people retweeted this tweet. And it said, among the 8 people who tweeted it were LA People's Media and PMbeers. So if y'all are just reporting like what happened, oh, this happened. Hey, there's this video, this person tweeted it, these 8 people retweeted it. Why out of 8 people my name comes up? Am I special?
The Red Chief Hunt, followed by Hamid Khan.
Red Chief Hunt for the record. I want to really talk about the police commission and their duties and their jobs. Last week we seen a guy get beat up. I get harassed for being right there on the wall, having a medical condition. And when trying to explain it, asking for a supervisor, he didn't want to get me a supervisor. Well, I still wanted to listen to the meeting, and at that time, it was an incident going out the door. My question to the police commissioners, you guys are supposed to govern this meeting, and it's supposed to be protected by the Brown Act. Why is it, one, that if you ask for a supervisor, we're not being accommodated? 2, that you guys are not really listening to what we're saying. I find a lot of that going on even in Chief Beck's department. And I'm going to have to refer back to his Bakewell News Coalition to demand justice for Herb Weston. Well, if you guys know anything about the Brown Act, you guys do not get to say what's offensive and what's not. You guys said that this was a terrorist act, that somebody was drawing pictures, which really wasn't no terrorist act. What was a terrorist act is what we've seen over the weekend when people killing people. Why would you guys take Chief Beck's detectives and have somebody arrested and based on a picture, Herb Weston equal nigga? That's just an opinion. You guys have capriciously abused the discretion of the LAPD. Chief Beck, I'm holding you responsible for it. If you guys don't know what terrorism is, they shouldn't be arresting people. Number 2, you should be putting restraining orders based on free speech. This is what photographs are about, free speech. That was served by the First Amendment. You guys need to get it together. Chief Beck, you need to rearrange all your whole department.
Last week, Kathleen Kim and Sandra Figueroa, you all announced about this effort that you're going to launch in Skid Row with calling it compassion and empathy. So Operation Healthy Streets started last week on Thursday. This morning, Pete White was arrested by your cops in Skid Row for documenting human rights violation. Yesterday, we photographed killer cop Martinez with a gun like this, trying to pull a guy at the same spot where Charlie Africa was murdered out of his tent, reaching for the taser. This morning, another resident of a tent in Skid Row was tasered. Pete White was trying to document all of these human rights violations, and he gets arrested. I just came from the street. You talked about compassion and empathy. You talked about looking out for people's lives. This is what is happening on the street, while you sit here in the comfort of this room. This is what is happening on the street. Same guy who murdered, who was one of the 6 cops who shot Charlie Africa, same guy with a gun on his, out of his holster, in his hand, trying to pull somebody out of a tent. Is that compassion and empathy? Tell me. It's not, isn't it? And then when somebody tries to document that, they are arrested. Because we know what is going on, that human rights defenders are being targeted. You had General Jeff arrested last week when he was trying to exit out of that door. For nothing but trying to exit out of the wrong door. Where does the sign say that you can't exit out of there? Where does it prohibit exit out of this room? And today people are arrested. I hold you responsible. I hold Sandra Figueroa responsible for sending this message, for this propaganda about compassion and empathy. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to direct this man to release Pete White, who was just there documenting human rights violation? This is what is going on. So all this storytelling and all this show and tell is nothing but bullshit, because something has to change, and you need to personally get involved in this thing and take care of what is going on the street today. Thank you. Yes.
The next 5 speakers: Jojo Smith, Ted Hayes, Alfredo Gama, Oscar, and Francis Jenkins.
Joseph Smith, Los Angeles Community Network. You know, my comrade just talked about what's going on in the streets. Y'all talk about passion. There's no compassion in LAPD. They don't know what compassion is. They are a terrorist gang. But y'all sit here and rubber stamp every fucking thing they do. Matt Johnson, you're looking at me like that. Look at me really. You need to stop rubber stamping all their bullshit and start getting in the streets and see what the people are dealing with every day with this terrorist group called LAPD. Because they are terrorists. Because you look up terrorists, they are the terrorists. They're not in the streets helping us. They're in the streets helping the 1%. They don't care about the people on the streets. All they care about is protecting this building and the 1%. They don't care about the people. And you talk about, they've done a great job on the gay pride. You know why they've done that? For media. To make the media think that LA's doing something nice. LA's the worst gang in the country.
Ted Hayes.
As Mr. Jenkins pointed out, last week when the commission went into recess and we went out, we didn't necessarily have to leave the room once you go into recess. We could stay here theoretically until you come back into recess. But no, we were told to exit the room. Now, police officers have been described in many ways as being animals of some kind. Well, actually, that was throwing us to the wolves, because once we got outside their door, the police formulated an unlawful assembly process in the lobby of the police department administration building. Now, the court has said so many times you cannot disturb the peace of a police officer. You can't. But nevertheless, they thought their peace was being disturbed by the people in the lobby. So they got the bullhorn out and they got their batons out and various other things to clear out the unlawful assembly in the lobby. Ultimately, they claimed that someone in here said, well, don't let them in because they're acting naughty in the lobby. So they can't come back inside. So somehow there was a link up between this commission and the officers in the lobby to declare that it was so unruly and so unlawful that we should not be allowed to come back inside to a public meeting. But you will hear about that. So I think I heard someone say something about the 49 who were killed as being a senseless killing. Well, was it a knee-jerk response, or was that a scientific analysis of that killing? I think one of the most important things I've heard so far is about every time these killings take place, yourself always gets involved. If you get involved in domestic violence, the department knows a lot about domestic violence.
Hell yeah, they let the officers beat the shit out of that old lady.
Alfredo Gama.
And get away with it.
I just want to speak on directly to the commission. Again, my name is Alfredo Gama. I'm 19 years old, and this is about my third time coming to the commission meeting. And I just want to be honest with all of you. I see, I read your biographies. I was impressed by Ms. Kathleen Kim. She's a civil rights lawyer, human rights lawyer. I read some of her writings, pretty impressive. But when I come to the meetings, something else is shown in these meetings. I had to pay $5 to find parking. There is no public access to parking. How can you expect the youth to be involved with our city when everything is inaccessible? I asked one of the members of the community here why I couldn't sit in the front, and they were like, because the commissioners don't want you to see them directly in the eye. So I want to ask you, Matt Johnson, Kathleen Kim, why can't I sit in the front? Why is it only police officers sitting in the front when I want to see your faces, when I want to learn from you guys about how to be a participant in this community? So why can't I sit in the front?
We reserve the first 2 rows for those who have presentations before the commission.
Even when there's nobody here.
That we're all looking directly at you.
There's actually several empty seats.
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, right now I see about 7 seats, 8 seats not, with no one presenting. I feel like those should be allowed for the public. I understand the presentation, but right now there's many seats available. And also, why is this meeting so like secretive? Is it like it's in the headquarters of LAPD? You have cops all over the place. I don't think you understand that the youth throughout the community are traumatized by these police. Every other night in my neighborhood in South Los Angeles, I have police flashing their lights in my face simply for walking to my car to get my books to study at night. How do you think it makes us feel to come in here with all this police presence? It is not safe for us. It is traumatizing, and I think that your comment on Orlando was just hypocritical. The fact that you guys just killed someone in June 10th.
And then they'll cut you off.
And our meetings are not secretive. We meet every Tuesday at the same time, at the same location. Our agendas are posted online.
But we're surrounded by guns.
It's a pretense.
You're disrupting.
Pretense.
Surrounded by guns, though.
I understand that. You're disrupting. If you disrupt
Like,
again,
it's
I'm going
supposed to be a public
If
meeting,
you
but
disrupt,
we're surrounded by guns.
that's your last warning. We are anything but secretive. Our meetings are on TV. They're recorded. They're available on the internet. Our agendas are available on the internet. And there is ample opportunity for the public to speak. And as we announced last week, we have 4 meetings that are going to be held in the community, with the first one being this coming Tuesday at Hollenbeck at 6:30. The location and the details of that meeting are also publicly posted.
But we're going to be surrounded by guns there, too?
Absolutely.
What is the hidden way in which people will be not welcome there?
Yeah.
What are they?
We're going to be surrounded by guns?
If you have a comment to make, I suggest you submit a card. This is not a Q&A.
Okay, well, I guess it would be hard to respond.
Next comment, please.
The next speaker is Oscar, followed by Prentice Jenkins.
Good morning. You say you're not a secretive organization, but you haven't answered any of the questions about Waukesha Wilson's death since Easter Sunday. And on May 10th, the Force Investigation Division gave a report here on the use of force investigations, which include deaths in custody, like the death of Waukesha Wilson on March 27th, correct?
That's correct.
The gentleman giving the report said that department has tremendous amounts of resources for categorical use of force investigations, which would also include the death of Waukesha Wilson, right?
Correct.
Okay. They said the department has to present a report within 72 hours to the chief of police, and that report has to be reviewed within 30 days, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So, how is it that Charlie Beck can convince you all that they have to hold on to the video of a supposed suicide for over 80 days? Today is 80 days. It has to be reviewed within 30 days. Her family still hasn't seen any evidence. Can you explain that?
Damn, Charlie.